Good morning, everyone. In the last class, we are trying to check with Log4j properties here. So, using this particular property, we identified the information about the Hibernate, how it is working here. So, we'll try to focus on the one more time, the same example here. Let me go back to the Hibernate main class. So, this is all about our Hibernate main class here. So, what we are doing here, we are trying to load an object here. By loading an object, we are trying to print the data here. Okay, so we'll observe how exactly this particular data is printing. Observe here what happening internally. So these are the information regarding this particular Hibernate. So finally, this is our SQL query is generated and the data is printing here. So first we need to understand here what happening internally. So using this particular information, what exactly it's doing internally. And you can observe this is our Hibernate version, and using this particular load properties where it is trying to load from the resource called hibernate.properties. So we are having the file here. Using this particular file, find out the properties. So what are the properties we are having? You can check here connection driver class. So here we are having HBM to DDL, and later dilate and connection username and the URL. So everything we are trying to load from this particular other properties. And later, so here basically this is a one Java jar we added here. So basically what exactly it is doing is bytecode provided here. So whatever the code we are going to write here, the code is going to convert it into the bytecode. So that is we already aware of it when we are trying to discuss the core information. And later, so which version we are working here? So Java 1.4. And later, so we are having our mapping resources. So these are our mapping resources. Where exactly it is available? Inside this particular com.java technology Hibernate package. And back here, so these are the warning information. Again, we are having info message here. So we can see what exactly we are having the model class and where it is located. So what is the name of our model class we are working and where it is located? We are having more than one. We are going to check with more than one model classes information. And later we can check with so driver manager connection provider. We are having the driver manager connection provider information here. Later, so auto commit here. We don't have auto commit as made as a false. So by default, the particular auto commit is false here. And we identified the driver name, connection information, so which database we are working and what is the version here. And the Postgres driver, the Postgres JDBC driver, and this is our version here. Back to here, so this is our dilate here. We identify here. So these are some information we are having here. Right. So we are having this information. We can check with the table name and column foreign key information, and we are having the indexes information. So these are the information also we are having inside this particular table metadata. To find out the table information, we can identify here using this particular info section. So I'm trying to move to instead of info, I want to change to the debug. I want to change to the debug here. So debug, we are going to have more information here. Compared to this particular information, we'll have more information here. So we'll understand here what are the information we are going to have. Okay, let me run the same example one more time. So now you can observe, compared to this particular information, debug we are going to have more information. So same thing we are like these are the information level we are finding because we made as a root level info. So we made as a root level info, so which is taking high priority and which is providing the information. And later we are having identifier generator. So we identified this particular identifier generator here. So to make the primary key information here, we are going to work with this particular generator class. So this is the interface we already identified here, and we'll observe you. So what exactly this particular class? Now you can see default identifier generator factory. So what it contains internally, now you can observe, so identifier generator factory. So if I'm going to move inside this particular implement here, so internally which is expecting dilate here, identifier generator. So identifier generator. Now you can observe what it contains, this particular identifier generator. So which is not responding. Okay. So let me open. Basically, identifier generator is the interface here. Now observe here. So this interface we are discussing here. Whenever we are trying to implement this particular identifier generator here, we can specify our own primary key generation logic here. Our own primary key generation logic here. So we did not work on our own primary key generation logic here. So we give an option to the Hibernate to provide the Hibernate like what is the default behavior of this particular primary key information. So that is we are getting here. That still comes under this particular default identifier generator factory. Now you can see using this particular line number 99, so it's doing internally some operations here. So using this particular some of the UID extra generator, because we need to generate the ID value automatically. So because of this, we can check with inside this particular ID property we are having. So these are the other generators here. But here, so these are coming from this particular identifier generator here. Okay, back to here. So in fact, these are the information, and these are our mapping information. So reading the mapping from the resource. And later, we need to check with what it contains here. So trying to resolve the system ID. So basically, this is our DTD file. We identified here. So what it contains this particular DTD. So like mapping class. So this is also saved. Like what are the properties we are having? Message ID and message text and next message ID. So these are the three columns we are having inside this particular message. And later, so you can observe preparing to build the session factory with the filters. So as of now, we don't have a filter here. But here now you can observe, so inside this particular configuration class, so 1376. I'm going to open this particular configuration class. Now you can see, so this is the log message printing or not. This is the log message printing. Right. Now you can observe preparing to build session factory with the filter. So here, if we are having any filters, we are going to get. But as of now, we don't have a filter. So we'll see. But observe here. Whenever we are calling this particular build session factory, so this particular log is going to call. The same thing we are getting here. The same thing we are trying to identify here. Let me change here. So this is all about the preparing the build session factory. So and so these are the internal information of this particular configuration class. So if we want to find out more information, what we need to do? So we need to find out this particular line number, right? This line number which is available inside this particular configuration class. So observe one more time. I want to go to the 1211. So to find out the line number, what you can do? Control L. So Control L, you can specify the particular line numbers. Sorry, 1211. Now we can observe this is the log message processing extended queue. How it is calling it? Second pause compile. So where it is calling it? To calling the resource this particular method here, what we need to do? Control Shift to G. Observe here, these are the shortcuts also important. In the real time, using this particular shortcut, we can easily understand how this particular methods are calling and what is the line number, how these particular methods are implemented. Everything we can identify here. Now you can see inside this particular Hibernate core jar, and this is the package, and this is the class, and from this particular build mapping which is calling second pause compile. Getting the point. So from here, which is calling, but we need to understand this particular build mapping. So here we don't have. Now we can see. So there is no reference here. But what we can do, we can put a breakpoint here because this particular build mapping which is going to call from the other jar files maybe. To find out the more information, what we can do, we can add a breakpoint like this. We can run the application. But back to here, for the now we are understanding it, how it is calling internally. So to find out the more information, we need to go for this particular each line number, so that we are going to have the internal file of this particular configuration object information. And later, so these are the connection related information. So the driver manager connection provider. So it's nothing but connection information. So once this particular configuration object is created internally, using this particular our property file, Hibernate.property file, we are going to load the connection information. So these are the connection information. Back to here, session factory. So we discuss here session factory because for each database we are going to have one session factory. So these are the internal implementation of this particular session factory. So what exactly it is doing internally? Sort of commit plus JDBC batch and some connection release mode. So some of the query related information. Cutting the point. So generate a SQL with the comments disabled. So these are the session factory information. These are the session factory. So later you can check with the session factory IMP. So session factory IMP is nothing but which is the implementation of the particular session factory. Now when this particular session factory IMP is going to call, now we can understand here the session factory object is creating. The particular session factory object is creating internally. Right. So these are about the session factory. And later now we can understand here these are the SQL queries here. For this particular model class called message. So now these are the SQL queries generated by this particular class. Abstract entity. So for this class is going to provide the generated SQL query information. And now we can understand here particular entity related information here. And here also we can identify SQL query information here. Right. So we can see, so this is the ID of this particular session factory object. Now initializing the class called session object factory is nothing but session factory is object is creating here. So insert creating here. Now you can observe. So these are the three information object is creating. Running a HCMD2 schema update here. So as we discussed this particular HBM2 DDL here, what is the purpose here? So which is going to create a table with a column what we are going to specify in our mapping file. And so we identified here the foreign key reference, table name, columns, and the table metadata configuration class. These are the information here. These are information here. So here we can see the select query generated from our object here. And after generating the select query here, so these are the information which is doing internally. So about to open the result set object here. We discussed the result set in the Spring JDBC. The same thing here is trying to open the result set object here. But everything is going to be taken care by the Hibernate. We are not going to open any result set object or prepared statement and everything. Right. So these are the information. So I'm requesting here, instead of making the info, you can put the debug here. so that we are going to have more information on this particular Hibernate, how it is working internally. Right. Any questions regarding this particular? So log4j properties and the basic information of this particular Hibernate. Okay. So if we don't have anything, what we are going to do? So we'll try to check with another example here. So now you can understand here. So imagine, so we are going to check with the multiple classes here. So those classes are created in the, so one of the airlines applications here. Getting the point. So how exactly we are going to work with this particular airlines application and with the model classes here. So what are the model classes we are going to create? So we'll have a more information here. And before going to start here, we identified the simple example of this particular message class here with the different parameters here. Right. And here, so this is not the sufficient to work with the real-time applications here. Basically, this is the simple example we are discussing. So find out the real-time, what we are going to do. So we need to work with our business entity. So business entities are important here. So business entity is nothing but, so what exactly the model classes we are going to discuss here, and those information we are going to discuss. And each model class will have attributes here. Attributes is nothing but the properties information. How exactly the properties are going to have here. Okay, so we'll define the simple example here. So now you can understand here. So what are the classes we are going to discuss? So in the airlines application here, what happens internally? So we are going to have different types of category, and each category can contain some of the item information. And here, so those informations are going to booked by the user information. So we'll try to create these three sections here. So we'll try to create this particular three sections called category, item, and user here. So first we are going to discuss these particular three classes here, and later we are going to work with the different classes information. So internally we are going to have so billing details with the credit card or bank details. Getting the point. So we'll have a more information on this particular classes here. Let me have a more information on this particular class. So I'm trying to open the MS Paint. Yes, I'm trying to draw MS Paint only. So observe, sorry. So first we'll have information on these three sections here. So first one, category, and so these are the three classes we are going to have. Category and item. So finally we are going to check with the user. So these are the three main classes here. Because if we book any ticket here, we are going to provide the category information. So what is exactly the categories we are going to have? Because any airlines application will have different categories, and inside this particular each category will have a item information here, and these are the information is going to booked by this particular user section here. Getting the point. So now to find out the information, how exactly the airlines application is going to look like here. So let me provide the big diagram here. So here, what I want to do, I want to provide the table sections here. Here, I want to check with the first one called category. Inside this particular category, so we'll have a name property. Getting the point. So the type here we are going to work with the string here. So this is the category object. And later what we are going to do, so we'll try to check with item here. So inside this particular item, what are the properties we are going to have? So same here also, name of the item. We are going to work with the string. The data type I want to provide. So item description, and so we can work with the description also string. So some of the dates information here. So what are the dates we are having? Start date and end date, created date. Start date, here we are having the date property. So and end date, finally created date. So these are the properties we are going to work with some of the different columns here. And internally, so we'll try to check with one more item called bid here. So bid is nothing but, this is also one of the model class we are going to work here. So we are going to have the relation between this particular item and category classes. Now you can understand here what are the properties we are going to have. So big decimal and created here. So when this particular amount is created, we are going to work with the created date. So these are the amount related information that we are going to call as a bid. And here we are going to work with comment here. So comment is also one of the one more model class. And so this particular comment will have different properties. Here, what we are doing here, we'll try to specify the rating information. Otherwise, the rating we can make int here. So something called text here. Text information. So this we can make as a string. And here we need to specify the created date when this particular comment is created. Getting the point. So these are the comment information. And later, we are going to work with the user section. So let me create a user here. Here, we'll try to check with the user. User will have different properties. The user will have something called username, password. Username, password. Something called email. And we can provide the created date. So created date we are going to specify in the each and every class, because so we need to understand here when this particular the model class the data is created here. So because of this, when we are going to work with this particular created date, what we will do internally, we'll try to work with the system date here, so that the current data is going to stored into the database. Okay, I'm not specifying the properties here, the data types here, because we already identified in the previous example here what are the properties we can work with this particular user class. Okay, back to here the created date, and we can check with the username here. First name and last name we are going to work with the name field here. Right, and finally here I am going to work with one address class, because the user need one address information. Let me specify address here. The address here we are going to have so state and zip code, something called city. So these are the three properties we can add, and so the street we can make as a string, zip code also we can make as a string, and city. city also we can make as a city. Finally, so we will try to focus on the billing section here. So this particular billing section will have credit card and bank details. So I'm requesting here, so you need to work on these many proper model classes here when you are trying to work with the simple airlines applications here. Okay, inside this particular billing, so owner information. So he is the owner here and account number. So it's nothing but, so just I want to add a number. Account number is nothing but a number I'm trying to specify, and later, so when this particular details are created, so created date, and later we can have the credit card information. So inside this particular credit card section, type of the card. So what is the type of this particular credit card, and expired month and expired year. So these are the information we will have inside this particular credit card. Inside this particular bank section, what are the information we are going to have? So inside this particular bank account, bank name and so bank code here. So we'll have some IFSC code we are going to call, so bank code. So you can add different properties if you want. Right, just for understanding I'm giving. So these are the model classes here. So using these many model classes, we are going to work with this particular the simple applications here. Right, now as we discuss here, so first what we are going to do, we'll try to check with the user information. So user and category, user and category, this particular item related information we are going to go. So later, the remaining classes we are going to discuss here. Back to here, to create these many classes here, first what we need to do, we need to go back to the particular package called com.java-technology.hibernate. So inside this particular Hibernate package here, I want to provide user information. I'm creating user object here. And why this is slow? Today my Eclipse is very slow here. So we need to wait some time to open the each pop-up here. Okay. So observe here, public class user. So when we are discussing this particular user, we can identify here. So we are having the different properties here. Okay. Now I'm going to work with implementation of this particular serializable. So why we need to implement this particular serializable? Basically, Hibernate is not going to expecting this particular serializable, but here, what happens internally when we are trying to work with HTTP session, or when we are trying to work with so like REST API related example here, REST API related example here, we need a ID of this particular user, so that this particular object is going to convert it into this particular appropriate format here. So when we are trying to work with the XML or JSON, so any object here, easily using this particular ID, we can understand this particular object information. So because of this, so we need to work on this particular implement serializable. Right. So make sure Hibernate is not going to expecting this particular serializable concept here. Okay, back to here, I want to add so properties here. What are the properties we are having? First one called username. So simply we can write. So password, username and password and address. So the user which is going to have a relation between address also. Right. While creating the user, what we need to do? We need to create a address also. So we'll have this particular address section later. And now understand here, I want to provide the default constructor. So I want to provide the default constructor here. So we identified here if the default constructor is not available. What happening internally? We are getting an exception here. So we need a default constructor. So along with this, what we need to do? We need to work on the setter injection and constructor injection. So set username and set address here. Right. So observe. So before going to generate the setters here, what I need to do? I want to create a address class. So you can observe inside the same package I'm going to create address. Right. Let me implement this particular address also with the serializable. So generate this particular default serial ID. So what we identified, the address field here. And state, zip code and city. So first one is a state, zip code. Finally, we are going to work with the city. Right. So now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to generate setters and getters here. So to generate the setters and getters, what is the shortcut here? So when you're trying to work with this particular Eclipse here, basically, so these are the shortcuts we can work on the newly created any ID here. So but the NetBeans are having the different shortcuts here, but we are in the real-time application. As I understand, most of the organizations are using Eclipse or MyEclipse here, right? So when you are trying to work with Eclipse and MyEclipse here, the same shortcuts we can use here. So to generate this particular shortcuts here, to work on this particular generate and setters and getters here, what we need to do? So Alt Shift to S. Alt Shift to S here. So which is going to provide the shortcuts information here, and we need to click on the getters and setters. So select all. So deselect this particular serial version ID, and remaining 3 we are going to generate here. Now you can observe all the information which is generated here. Right. So these are the address information. Back to this particular user section. Now, okay, let me generate default constructor. So this is the default constructor. Address class default constructor. Now I want to generate setters and getters here for this particular user class. Now you can observe. So get user, set user, get password, set password, and address here. So these many methods we are having here. So this section we are going to call as a setters and getters. Now you can understand here. So as we discussed here, the serializable we are going to work with the HTTP session or any REST API related here, and we are creating the default constructor here. So we are creating this particular default constructor here. So why we need to create? Basically, Hibernate is going to create an object of this particular any class here using this particular constructor here. So constructor dot new instance here. Right. So when we are calling this particular constructor dot new instance here internally, the default constructor is going to call. So if the default constructor is not available, we are going to get an exception here. So because of this, we need to specify this particular constructor, the default constructor here. Okay, now, so we need to work on the association. When we are having the two model classes here, we need to check with the association how exactly the two model classes are going to communicating each other here. Right. So to work with this particular association, what we need to do, I'm going to create a one more class here, something called category. And inside this particular category, we'll have a more information on this particular association. So it's nothing but how these particular two objects are going to communicate internally. So let me add this particular category section here. And I want to implement the same information called. Yes, basically in Java, if the default constructor is not there, but the compiler is going to call, like we'll call the default constructor. By default, we are going to have the default constructor. But when we're trying to discuss with the Hibernate here, we are not, the Hibernate is not going to find the default constructor here. Compiler will understand the default constructor, so the Java compiler, but here the Hibernate cannot understand it here. Okay, now observe here. Now we are discussing this particular category information. So we identify what exactly the category will contain here. So name of this particular category, and so now you can observe I'm going to work with the association between these two objects here. So to work on this particular two association, what I'm doing is I'm trying to work with the category object. So parent category. So this is the parent category, and I want to check with the child category. So whenever we are trying to work with this particular child category, now what we need to do, we need to work on the setter, like a set interface here. We need to work on this particular set interface. Observe here, I want to specify. Okay, let me remove. We'll understand later the generic type here. So child category is equal to new hash set. Getting the point. So now you can see, so this is the parent category. The parent category will contain only one object. The child category will contain more than one object here. Getting the point. So just for understanding here, whenever we'll try to open any application here, so we are going to have one parent category. Inside the parent category, we'll find the more about the child category information. So to understand the same architecture style here, what we need to do, we need to create two objects like this. One is the parent, and another one we are having child. So here, so we are going to work with this particular association here, one to many. So how exactly this particular association will going to work here? Okay, back to here, we need to generate this particular setters and getters information. Let me generate this particular setters and getters. Observe here the child category which is expecting this particular set information, and parent category which is expecting only one object, category object here. Getting the point. Here which is expecting multiple objects, because we are working on the collection object here. Right, collection framework related, the set interface we are working here. So basically, when we are trying to work with this particular bidirectional operations here, what we need to do, so we need two attributes here. We require this particular two attributes here. So what are the two attributes we are having here? One is the parent category, and another one is a child category. So the parent category will have a single value. So as we explained here, the parent category object contain only one object here. But what about this particular child category here? We are going to have multiple here. When we are trying to work with multiple values information, we are going to work with this particular child category. Right. So this is a very important section we are discussing here. And at runtime here, what happens here? the Hibernate is going to create an instance of this particular asset because we are trying to specify the interface references here. Here we are not providing the implementation classes information, just we are specifying the interface. Set is one of the interface which is available in our collection framework. But how this particular object is going to create? The Hibernate is going to create an object of this particular asset here because asset is the one of the implementation of this particular interface. Later, we are trying to work with a name here. So set name and get name. And we need to provide the default constructor. So these are about the default constructor. So if you observe what we are going to do. So basically to understand this particular association here. So what is the simple logic we are going to specify? So basically here we will try to create an object here. So here we are going to create an object here. So how we are trying to create an object here? So category, this category is nothing but parent category is equals to new. Now what I am doing is I am trying to create a one parent category. So later one more object I want to create. Here child 1. Getting the point. So here child 2. So careful observe here, we are having one parent object and we are having two child records here. So now you can see how we are going to understand here. So basically this particular child will have child dot set parent. We are having this particular parent here. Parent category. Right. So the same thing I am going to call here and which is expecting a category object here. What is the category we are having? Parent here, something called, this is a parent. Now we are passing this particular parent object information. So using this particular child 1, we are calling the set parent category and we are passing this particular parent information. Same way, what we are going to do, because we are having two child records here. So with the reference of child 2 also, we are going to call set parent category and will specify the same parent object information. Because this particular parent will contain, these are the two child records. Right. Now we identified here, if we are trying to find out this particular parent child information, we are going to have the parent record here. We will have a parent record information so that we can understand here. So the child is associated to this particular parent information. Right. Same way, we'll try to create a parent information. So how exactly the parent is going to have child information. Right. Now you can understand here parent dot. So here we are having two options. What are the two options we are having? So basically using this particular set child category. Using this particular set child category, we can create a one asset object and we can specify the object information here. So otherwise, we can call this particular child category. So get child category method. So which is going to return the set of object information and using we can call the dot add method here. So this add method which is available inside this particular asset or we can call it as a inside this particular set interface. So when we are going to call this particular add, we can specify the child record 1. In the same way, we can specify child 2. Getting the point. So this particular parent will have, these are the child 2 records. And this particular child will contain these are the parent information. Getting the point. So this is very important here. When we are going to have one to many, or we can call it as a many to one. And here, what is the one object here? parent is a one object. And what are the many objects here? Child records. Because child we are having two, so that we are going to call as a many. Parent we are going to have only one, we will call as a one. So entire relation here we are going to call as a one to many. So we'll have a simple example after creating all the model classes here. But observe here. So this is a style we are going to work internally. So when we are trying to specify like this, so definitely the parent and child relation we are going to have. Okay. So we'll have more information here. Basically, I want to specify one object information. I want to specify one object information here, sorry, one method information here inside this particular category class. So using this particular specific method, we are going to call the child record information here. So carefully observe here, what is the method I'm trying to write. Observe, I am trying to write this, the method is a public because we want to access from this outside of this particular category class. So that I am making public here, and this particular method is not going to return anything. I'm trying to make as a void here. So observe add child category, and here which is expecting here category object. So here child category. Now what we are doing is we are trying to specify only one object here. When we are trying to call this particular add child category method, so we'll specify one parameter here, so which is expecting here the single category object here. Single category object. Now, so what are the conditions I am making? So the child category we are making as a null here. What we can do? So basically we can throw new exception. So we can throw new exceptions here with the specifying information. Child object is null. Just for understanding, I'm specifying this particular exception here. Getting the point. So which is providing, so to handle this exception here. Now what we can do, close declaration. Okay, so just for I'm trying to throw this particular exception when we are going to specify this particular child category as a null. So if it is not null, what we need to do, again I need to check one more condition. Child category dot. So here, now what I'm doing here, using this particular child category, I'm going to call parent category. So we are having the particular method called parent category. If this particular parent category is not equals to null, getting the point. If the particular parent category is not equals to null, what I'm doing is I'm trying to remove all the object information. I want to remove all the object information. So carefully observe, because we are going to have this kind of specific method in the model classes here. So in the real time, we try to specify the more than one the specific methods here. Okay, now observe, based on this particular condition, the child category dot the parent category. If this particular child category does not have, like if not equals to null the parent category information, internally I'm going to call, because basically the parent category is going to return the one category object, right? And using the one category object here, we can call for this particular child category. I don't want to use the, so what we have added previously. Getting the point. What if we added the previously child records here, I want to remove. Getting the point. Observe carefully. This section is important here. What we are doing here, so we are trying to specify this particular child category information, and if the child category contains any parent category object information, So from the parent category, we are trying to load the child category object, and inside this particular child category, what we are going to do, we'll try to remove this particular child category object because we don't want to add the same object one more time here. So because of this, I'm trying to remove here. So if it is not available here, what I will do, because if the two conditions are not satisfied, getting the point. So now simply we want to check with these particular two sections here. So this particular child category dot parent category. Here I want to specify this object. The current object I'm making as a parent object here for this particular child category, and so using this particular child category, this dot child category dot add under child category. Getting the point. So here I want to change to the categories because we are going to get multiple child categories. So which is taking error here. I want to change to categories. Observe here. So carefully observe, instead of calling this particular child category, so I calling these are the method information, I am calling the add method. So this is the one more. Basically, we are having some conditions information internally. Using this particular condition, we are going to add the particular child information. Observe here what we are doing here. We'll try to call this particular add category directly. So we are not going to specify these many information here. So child category dot here we can specify this object information child 1. This we can specify the child 1. So we'll have a simple example on this, but make sure understand here how we are creating this particular category and how we are making this particular relations here. The one to many and many to one here. And finally, we'll try to create a one more object called item here. So the item class we will try to create here first because the item and category we are going to have many to many association. So here I am trying to work with one to many and many to many. In the same category we are having the two association here. Okay, observe here to understand this what I want to do. I want to provide items here. Provide. So I want to specify this set here. Items as set here. Getting the point. So these are about the items information. The same thing we are going to create in the item class. Okay, let me generate this particular items here. After this, I want to generate items information. So child category is be generated. We want to generate only item here. Now you can observe get items and set items is generated. Okay, back to here, we need to create an item class. I want to create an item here. And let me implement this particular serializable. So provide string name and string description. So these are the two information, and here we need to provide the category information, because so we discuss here many to many sections we are going to discuss. So set category and new asset. So whenever we are trying to work with any mapping information, so we need to work on this particular setter information, not the list. Right. So basically, the set is going to provide some duplicate behavior here, so that we don't want to provide the duplicate information more times here. Even though if you specified here, internally the duplicate records are going to ignore here. So these are about the set category. Let me generate the setters and getters information. Categories, description and name. Observe here we are working with the category, and the same way in the categories we specified as a items here. So these are about the many to many association we are trying to work here. But now we need to understand here how exactly this particular category is going to work. So we'll try to focus on this particular, the remaining section here. Observe, in the category, I want to specify the one more method. The specific method I want to specify, public void add category. So inside this particular item, what we are doing here, we are trying to call add category method. So using by specifying this particular category object here. So how exactly we are going to check here? Let me add condition call category equals to null. So simply we can throw an exception here. So we can throw an exception by specifying message here. So what is the message we can specify? Something called category object is null. So that we can understand here, we'll make not null object here. Okay. Category dot, we'll try to call the get items here. Where is we are having the get item? Internally, we'll add this object. So see carefully the relation how we are making here. With the reference of this particular category, we are calling get item method, where we define this particular get item here. So here you can observe this particular get item is going to call. So which is trying to return the set of items here. Set of items here. We'll try to provide the generic in the tomorrow, but observe here get item, when we are calling this particular get item here, we are going to get this particular set of records here. And after getting this particular set of records here, we are calling add method. We are going to specify this. So when we are trying to specify this here, which object is going to store? This particular item object here. This particular item object is going to store. And the same way, I want to add one more here. Categories dot add here. So I want to add this particular category. So see carefully difference here. This is the category and this is the categories. So where we define this particular categories here, we define here. Right. Using this particular two lines here, we are making the relation between the category and the item here. So we'll have a more information on this particular category and item in our tomorrow class. So when we are discussing the mapping configuration, we are going to have more understanding. And while creating an object of this particular, these two objects here, we'll try to focus on the more information here. So this, as of now, it is not yet completed, this particular category and item information. So when it's going to complete, once we created the mapping information and one record we are going to insert it into this particular database, then we can understand here how the data is going to so how the data is mapped with the other model classes here. Getting the point. So as of now, like what we discussed in the today class, any questions regarding the today session? This example is not yet completed here because in the tomorrow we are going to discuss the mapping section here. Okay. So if we don't have anything here, yes, just we created the model classes here, and tomorrow we are going to discuss the mapping classes here. So once the mapping classes are completed, we'll have the data insertion and getting the data and everything. Yeah, okay. So that we'll continue tomorrow. So that's I'm trying to explain here. Once the mapping is completed, then only we are going to have more information here. Okay, if we don't have anything, we'll continue tomorrow.